Hey, what's up class? Hope you're doing well today. In today's lesson, we'll be discussing some helpful tips and drills you can use to warm up and practice your aim on console in Apex Legends. As you know, in Apex Legends, your ability to hit shots for extended periods of time is critical for success. The game has a high time to kill, and you really need to get all of your shots off to be effective. As such, I always personally spend about 10 to 15 minutes in the training mode before jumping into the game cold turkey. So today I'm going to show you some drills you can perform to help you focus your aim, simulate in-game situations, and work on your strafing and aim down sights. So let's come over here and pick up a weapon or two. So in my inventory right now I have an R301. I'm going to go through all of this in the format of automatic guns, semi-auto guns, snipers, and shotguns. I'm going to show you a couple drills, talk about a couple concepts, and try to demonstrate them to you so you can get them in your repertoire. So for automatic guns, we're going to do 4 drills. The first one's going to be a standing still burst headshot. We're going to do that about 3 times. It's for pinpoint aiming. Strafe body shots, which is to focus on some dual stick shooting using your left stick and your right stick to aim. Some body head to body shots to focus on moving enemies and jumping enemies, and then some hip fire on Bloodhound, our friend over here. So let's jump into some standing still burst headshots. So what I normally do when I use my right stick is the closer the enemy is to me, the less I find myself strafing and the more I'm going to be using my right stick because they're going to be moving a lot closer to me, right? So what I usually do is I jump in, I come to the platform, I pick up a semi-auto rifle, and I come right down to the beginning of the platform here. And this is where I kind of focus on giving couple bursts, and I'm not strafing, I'm just taking shots at the target, looking to acquire some headshots. Just a couple more times, it'll pop up. Now I'm going for the middle shot, I'm not hitting it every time. Just so I can get how far my movement needs to be at this distance to hit my target. The next drill, which is strafe body shots, is I'm going to stand on the target range right here. Now for an SMG, this is a little far away, but what you tend to find as you get farther away from your target, it gets farther and farther away and smaller. So the amount that you have to move your right stick is less and less and less. Now making these very precise movements on your right stick on console is very difficult. There's a very small window that you can hit in your live zone, and sometimes you just go flying off the handle. So here, what I'm going to work on at this range is I'm going to be taking shots, strafing, and using my right stick slightly. I'm going to be using them both in tandem. So I'm going to do slight movements to the right, to the left, miss there. I'm just going to focus on my targets. Do this a couple times. See, when I'm not moving with my strafe, I'm actually missing my shots by a lot because I'm pulling it. Next drill, I'm going to get back down here again. And what I'm going to focus on is starting in the middle, coming up to the head, and coming back down again. Now, this is supposed to simulate in-game when you have an enemy that's running by, they're jumping, they're sliding, they're doing something of that nature. Somewhere where you're going to have to go both horizontal and vertical. So here, I'm going to start, I'm going to come, I'm going to go up, and I'm going to come down. I'm going to come over here before the target's reset, up, and down. I'm imagining that someone's running in front of me. Now I'm going to do a little strafing. And I'm going to do this with a bunch of different weapons just so I get a feel of the different recoils and reflexes and how quickly I can strafe. Final drill we're going to do for the automatic weapons is what I like to call a hip fire exercise. So I'm basically going to be running up like I'm in game, turning a corner, and then I'm going to start firing at Bloodhound as we go from the hip, not aim down sight. Now the reason I do this drill is because when you aim down sight, your right stick moves a little bit slower than when you're moving with hip fire. So this is a really good drill to get your muscle memory down for when you get in those quick fire situations and you just have to fire. You don't have time to look down sight. If you do look down sight when you're this close and the enemy comes, the enemy's going to run right by you, right? So a lot of times you need to get into a hip fire situation and then boom, I'm running by, I'm running by, I'm running by. And I'm keeping my pointer on the target and I'm focusing on using that right stick to do a majority of the work when I'm up close. Another variant of this is what I like to call sliding hip fire. So as you know, in Apex Legends you have the ability to slide, right? Well, what I also like to do before I get in game, so I can actually use it in game, it's like anything in life, you have to practice it in order to get the muscle memory. I like to come and I like to time my slide and understand when I'm going to start hitting my target. It's a bad one. But I come up the hill, I do it a couple times, I slide, and then I aim at my target and I try to hit as many shots as I can. The key here is I'm learning how fast I go at different slide points. Now see, I can go in down sights there, but it slows me down and I lose my focus. So those are the 4 drills. Standing still, bursting headshots, strafe body shots from a little bit medium range away, some body head body shots when you're up close, and then of course your classic hip fire. You can do it with the R301, you can do it with the flatline, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to pick up a scout here, and we're going to talk about some semi-auto guns. Now the semi-auto guns are AR variants where you can just single fire, or I think the most typical gun in this game that's single fire, that's semi-auto, is the Scout. So for the Scout, again, we're going to do some standing still headshots. There's going to be a lot of heavy lifting by our right stick, right? So we're going to focus on some slight movements. We'll get a little closer here. Okay. Next, we're going to do the same exact thing, some strafing body shots, just like this. As the target's moving, we're going to be hitting them in the head, right? And be aiming for the head every time, so we have a precise target. And the reason we're strafing is so that we can keep our y-axis and just move along the x-axis and continue taking shots. So now with the semi-auto rifles, since you have a little bit more precision, a little bit more control, we're going to work on some distance shooting here. So we're actually going to take a look at some farther targets, and we're going to work on hitting those a couple times. Again, nothing revolutionary here, but it's going to help you get used to shooting at targets when you're strafing, shooting at targets when you're stationary, and just kind of getting different feels for how much you have to use those joysticks for each variant. Similar drills we're going to do for snipers. Let's run over here and grab ourselves I think a triple take. Yep. Grab some ammo here. Swap it out. You don't need that heavy ammo anymore. And here with the sniper rifle, we're going to do some standing still headshots and some different range shots, right? So again, I'm going to hit this, I'm going to hit this. I'm going to try to figure out and feel how much do I have to move that stick at different ranges, right? I just want to get a feel for it because in game, I don't want to have to think about it. I don't want to be doing the same thing for every single shot. I want to develop different muscle memory for different ranges. And then lastly, we'll do some long range shots, right? And lastly, I want to touch on some shotgunning, right? Shotguns, not as big in this game. Some would say they're not as effective. You have to shoot them a lot more. You have to hit a lot more of your shots. So that's why we're going to practice with it. And that's why we need to get our entire repertoire down with the shotgun. So what I like to do with the shotgun is, you're not really going to be doing a lot of aim down sights. You'll be doing some of it. Depends on the situation. But you're going to be doing a lot of running, right? So I want to focus on my strafes. I want to focus on simulating a situation in game where I know I'm going to be on the run, right? Usually with my shotgun, I'm not going to be sitting there sniping someone, unless of course you have the Peacekeeper with the choke on it, so you can go range. So let's just come up here, do a couple more. We'll go body, head, body, body, head, body. We'll do one more. So we're running along, enemy here, body, head, body. I missed it, but you get the picture. Then we'll do multiple targets, right? So I'm going to come here, boom, I'm going to hit him, then I'm going to hit him, then I have to hit him, then he's there. So I'm going to stand here in the middle, and I'm going to be hitting this guy, then this guy, then I'm going to go for this guy. All different targets. Again, simulating situations in game, so I'm not just sitting here shooting at a stationary target the entire time. And the final one is going to be a jump shotgun. Not as much of a meta in this game, because you do have some cooldown with jumping, but a useful tool in game if you can pull it off. To be able to run up on someone, jump, and shoot, and get a shot off on them, very valuable. So you want to just practice that a little bit. Two things that are good with this: it makes you unpredictable, it makes you harder to hit, and it allows you to get a shot off on your opponent when they least expect it, because you could be running up behind them, jump at them. You could be running from the side where they don't know where you are, around the corner. Again, you could do some slide drills as well if you want to. So, class, that's my suggested warm-up before entering the game. Obviously, nothing beats an active live enemy with a human on the other end of it, but if you need to get comfortable in a controlled environment so that your muscle memory is down pat in order to deal with the craziness when you get into Kings Canyon. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel. I also stream on Twitch daily, so be sure to go to follow Professor Stam on Twitch, and make sure you turn on your follow notifications. This has been Professor Stam. Until next time, class dismissed.